Hi, this is Juan from Behenian Rhapsody, English and Astrology. Here you'll find a series of videos for A1 level students. We learn English, we revise English, the language we learned during the course, but according to astrology, from an astrological point of view. So, we'll always start with our lesson plan. We'll have a do now activity. We'll see the objectives, the input, the guided practice, independent practice, evaluation, and your homework. Let's start with lesson 1A. First of all, do now. What do you know about English? For example, my name is Juan. I come from Canis Major, talking about constellations. What do you know about astrology? For example, astrology is a discipline connected to astronomy. So here we are using the main verb to be, conjugated to introduce people. My name is, this is Juan, I come from is another verb used in the present tense. And then this is the first point to talk about when we learn English. The objective for this unit is to identify stars in English so that we can talk about stars, about astrology using English at a basic level. For the input, we have our student's book and workbook. This is from English file. Then you need your notebook so that you can have a record of your vocabulary, structures, everything we learn in class. And we also have an online game. So let's start talking about fixed stars. Fixed stars are a source of knowledge. We know things, thanks to stars, planets, and everything in the sky. Stars give extra information to planets. They belong to constellations. They belong to groups of stars. We have animals representing the different constellations. This is why we have this photo here. Constellations are represented by animals. In this case, we have the constellation of the dog, Canis Major. The constellation of the dog, okay, we are talking about this constellation, and it influences dogs. It represents Jupiter's dog to guard Europa. Okay, this is the animal that Jupiter or Zeus created to guard Europa. The influence of stars comes from myths and empirical observation. The study of the stars was sacred science to the ancients related to God's actions. The body comes from the elements, the soul from the stars, and the spirit from God. It was believed that the spirit of man descended into material existence through the Milky Way. And this is quoted from Paracelsus, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. If the spirit incarnated through the sign Aries, for example, it was said to be a ram. This is an animal. If in Taurus, in the body of the celestial bull, another animal. Taken from the same source, the same bibliography. The fixed stars have affinity with the planets. Okay, sometimes we have a malefic planet and we have a malefic star. We have a benefic planet and a benefic star. Here you can see a list of constellations. In blue, you can see those that correspond to the signs: Aquarius, Aries, Cancer, Capricornus, all of them. And then here you can see in pink other important constellations, okay? Andromeda, Canis Major or Minor, Cassiopeia, Centaurus. You can see, okay, the different list, a list of constellations. Gemini corresponds to the sign, Leo, Libra, okay? Ophiuchus is another constellation, Orion, Pegasus, Perseus. Pisces corresponds to another sign, Sagittarius, Scorpius, Taurus, Virgo. You have the Ursa Major and the Ursa Minor too. But the series of videos is connected to Behenian stars. Why? Because they are used for magical purposes. They are used to create an astrological talisman, for example. And we can see there are 15 fixed stars belonging to this group, Behenian stars. We'll talk about Algol, that corresponds to the constellation of Perseus, Aldebaran, Algorab, Alcate, Alphega, Antares, Arcturus, Capella, Deneb, Algedi. You can see the Pleiades, the Weeping Sisters, Procyon, Regulus, Sirius, Pica, and Vega. But today we'll start talking about Algol. And you can see the symbol. This image corresponds to the symbol that we use to make magic, to create magic. Algol corresponds to the head of Medusa, who was killed by Perseus. She had her hair with a lot of serpents, if you remember. Algol is connected to the demon's head. In fact, talking about the Bible, the first story from the Genesis, we can see Adam's first wife, who was Lilith, and she came before Eve, the other wife that Adam had. Algol indicates problems to your eyes. Okay, so if Algol is important in your natal chart, you may have problems with your eyes, with your sight, difficulties to see. It causes misfortune, violence, and decapitation, among other things, because it is a malefic star. You can also see people influenced by this star, Algol. For example, Pablo Picasso, Salvador Dalí, or Van Gogh. And here you can see the image, the picture of Perseus killing Medusa, and this is, you can see the head of Medusa, and in particular Algol, the star. Thank you for your attention, because this is the first video of a series, as I mentioned before, and we'll continue with another video with another star, another lesson where we'll start where we'll continue learning English. Thank you so much.